Hi everybody, this is Lisa Bullen and I'm coming to you from Heartsong Yoga Center, and I'm so happy to be here. I have missed everyone. I've missed doing my yoga with you in person, but we're just going with the flow and we're going to do our yoga practice together, however that works for you. You might be in your living room, you might be at your workspace, or wherever you might be. Feel free to join me in this yoga session today, and maybe we can let go of some of the stress and anxiety that we might all be feeling, carrying around with everything that's been going on. So I think it's very important to stay with your practice, and if you've been practicing regularly, then I know if you're like me, you're missing your practice. So today we're going to just do about a 30-minute flow, and then we'll take some rest at the end of the class, and we'll do a gentle to medium flow, Kripalu Style. If you want to make it a little more challenging, you can. If you want to make it a little more gentle, you can. But just follow along as best you can, and we'll just start with a seated pose, a comfortable seated place, as we always do, to find our center. So as we sit, you can let the eyes softly close, or you can gaze downward, whatever is most comfortable for you. And I'd like you to just let your hands rest, either palms up or palms down on your knees. Let the sternum lift, the shoulders roll back and down, the crown of the head press skyward, the sitting bones pressing down into the ground. Let's take a cleansing breath in together. So a big breath through the nose, inhale, and then let it go with a sigh. Let's do that again. Big breath through the nose, out with a sigh, and just let your face muscles relax. Your jaw muscles relax. Let your jaw part slightly. If you're comfortable keeping the eyes closed, keep them closed. Otherwise, gaze softly downward. And just let your attention start to go inward. And notice how your physical body is feeling in this moment. Just what are you bringing with you to your practice today? Physically, how are you feeling? Without judgment, notice how your body's feeling. We're carrying around a lot of extra stress these past several weeks. So be mindful of where it lives in your body, so you can let some of that go today. And we're going to start to bring our breath just through our nose. So keeping the eyes softly closed, keeping the awareness and the attention drawn inward. Start to take your breath in and out only through the nose, and lengthening each inhale as it comes in. And just letting yourself empty completely before your next inhalation. You want to smooth that breath out, lengthen it, find a nice rhythm with it. Softening in the belly, softening the shoulder blades down the back. Keep lifting the sternum when you feel yourself start to slouch or slump. Lift as if there's a string attached to the sternum and the crown of the head. And just let the spine lengthen. Notice mentally and emotionally what you're bringing with you today to your practice. And again, without judgment, just be here now, letting go of anything you need to do later. Notice your energy level. And as we breathe deeply to the body, we're cleansing the body, we're strengthening the respiratory system, building immunity. And we're calming the nervous system. Deep breathing is very calming, as well as energizing, so it has an opposite effect. Bringing the hands together in the Anjali Mudra at the heart, let the thumbs press to the sternum, and just make an intention for your practice today, whatever that might be for you. What do you want to take away from your practice today? And hold that in your mind's eye. We'll take a few rounds of breath, so you can let your hands fall back to your lap, to your knees or thighs. And we'll take several more rounds of nice deep breaths before we begin. Inhaling and exhaling just through your nose if you can. Smoothing out the breath. Notice what you can let go of on your exhales. Choose something you would like to let go of today. Something that doesn't serve you, let it go. Beautiful. We'll take another deep inhale, sighing it through the mouth. And as we do that, we're going to tuck our chin in towards the chest. So take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, tuck the chin in towards the body, letting the head hang forward. The weight of your head is enough to stretch the back of the neck to start. Notice your shoulders, draw them back and down. And lift the sternum up to meet the chin. Just letting the head hang till you notice where you feel the stretch begin and notice where you feel the stretch end in your body. And then begin to go side to side with your chin, right to left or left to right, doesn't matter. We're going to create a half circle. So we're going side to side. And each time you come to the side, inhale as you look back over that shoulder. And you really want to reach with your eyes as far back as you can to get a good stretch for your eye muscles. And continue to lengthen, continue to breathe deeply, just through the nose if you can. It's more cleansing to the body when we breathe through our nose. And then coming back to center with your chin. Let the fingers lace behind the back of the head, right about at the center of the head, and the elbows fall in towards one another, the chin falling in a little closer to the body. And there's a little bit of a rounding in the upper spine. The shoulders roll down the back. And just having the weight of your hands and your arms at the back of your neck and head, just helping to deepen that stretch a little bit without forcing or straining. So breathe into the stretch, breathe into the sensation. And you might even turn your head a little bit side to side again, if that feels good. Always listen to your body, do what feels right, do what feels good. Coming back to center, lift your chin and slide the hands right out to the nape of your neck. And lift your heart, lift your gaze, open your elbows nice and wide. And you can rock the body just a little bit side to side. And we'll get into those side muscles between the ribs. Those are your intercostal muscles. We want to stretch all the joints and the muscles of the body today. Giving the body a little massage. So enjoy your breath. Enjoy this movement. Feels good to move in this way when we've really been running around a lot maybe and not taking care of your body. And then come back to center and lift the palms up to face the sky. Lengthen up through the palms of the hands, looking forward. Draw the belly in and up. And again, a little rock from side to side. We don't want to lift our sitting bones away. We just keep them rooted down. Beautiful. And then let the arms separate to T position, opening and closing the fingers. Get those fingers to stretch out long. Probably been on technology a lot more than usual, maybe. So giving those fingers a stretch. Make a fist and roll the wrists in a circle, forward and backward, a few times each direction. Getting those joints nice and juicy. And then letting the hands come behind. Lace the fingers behind your back. Squeeze back your shoulder blades, lifting your heart, lifting your gaze, and lifting the hands just a little away from your body as you lengthen up. And then bringing head back to center, just lifting and lowering the hands away from the body. Just gives you a nice squeeze to the shoulders. So if that feels good, just lifting and lowering as high as feels good in your body, in your shoulders today. Keep breathing. Beautiful. And then release the hands. Let the hands come down by your side. We're going to place the right hand down to the mat and the left arm up and over the ear. Get a nice opening in the side body, a little deeper than we did earlier. And inhale, come back up and switch sides. Reach out of the fingertips. Breathe into the side body, and then at your own pace, in your own breath, you'll go side to side. And you can have eyes open or closed, whatever feels good, keeping your sitting bones rooted. If at any point you'd like to stretch your legs out, you can stretch your legs out. Feel free to change position with the legs or feet. You might be a little bit tight there in your hips or in your knees, so listen to that message if you're getting that message. And then come back to center and take a breath. A connecting breath in and out. Just sigh it out, sigh away some of the tension if you can. And then we will let our legs stretch out. Shake them up and down, really get the blood back in there. We'll point and flex the feet and roll them around. Roll those ankles, go the other way, pedal the feet a little bit. And then the hands coming behind, flat on the floor. Let your knees bend, feet are parallel, hip distance. Let your knees start to drop side to side. And as the knees drop, the head looks over the opposite shoulder and the hip presses skyward. So you get a little bit of a spinal twist and a nice stretch for your neck and shoulders and hips all at once. When you come to the right the next time, sweep your left arm up. Lift your heart and look up. Big breath in and out. And then switch sides. And lift. Lift the heart, lift the gaze. Big breath in, big breath out. And switch. And at your own pace, in your own breath, a few more on each side. Just to open that heart and open those hips. You can take your feet a little bit wider if that feels good. And one more on the right. Lift the heart, lift the gaze. One more on the left. And come on back to center. And slide your feet away, bottoms of feet together. So let the feet touch, but have a nice big diamond shape between your hips and your soles of your feet. Holding on to your shins, sit up nice and long. Lift the heart, lengthen the spine, creates extension there, and we'll start to circle in the hips. So nice and easy at first, and then you might start small and go a little bit bigger as it feels good in your body. Keep breathing, coordinating your movement and your breath together, stopping and reversing direction. Notice your neck, notice your shoulders. Keep everything nice and loose if you can. And breathe deeply. Beautiful. And we're going to come to center. Cat and dog curls, typically done hands and knees. We'll do a few while we're sitting. So we're going to lift the heart and arch the back, lift the chin and the gaze. And then a little bit of a rounding and tucking. You're almost leaning back, tucking the belly in and the chin towards the chest. Exhale all the breath. Inhale, lift the heart, lift the gaze. Bring the heart forward and up. And then rounding and tucking. And again, in your own timing, come back and forth with your breath. And just giving a beautiful massage to your spine, your shoulders relaxed. Your throat's getting a nice stretch here as well. Big breaths in and big breaths out. Beautiful. And then come back to a neutral spine. And we'll bring the feet in just a little bit closer. If you want to go really close, you might take your sitting bones and scooch them up towards the heels a little bit further. Don't have to. You can hold your shins, your ankles, or maybe you're going to hold your toes. Extend the spine right up through the top of the head, from the tailbone to the crown, and let the knees just flutter up and down just a little bit, getting into those hips. Softening the belly, the jaw, the brow. And breathing. Full deep breaths. Keep lifting the heart as you roll the shoulders back and down. Beautiful. And then bringing that to stillness, take a deep breath in lengthening, and when you exhale, hinge your body forward, keeping a long line from tailbone to crown. You might not come forward very far before you feel a big stretch, so stop when you feel enough sensation and then breathe into that sensation. Full deep breaths. If you're not feeling a lot of sensation, maybe challenge your edge a little bit, go a little bit further. You'll know if you've gone too far. You never want to force or strain, but it is a big hip opener. And we're going to sit up tall once again on the inhale. Beautiful. Slide your feet forward just a bit, and let's bring those knees together and give yourself a great big hug. And when you're hugging your shins, tuck your chin in and lift your toes up away from the floor, rooting the balls of the feet and the heels, but lifting the toes and separating them as wide as you can apart, creating some space between the toes. Good. Big breaths in and out. Beautiful. We're going to straighten out the left leg. We're going to hold behind the right and start to bend and straighten that right knee. So leaning back a little bit, holding the back of the thigh, getting into that knee joint. If you have sensitive knees, then you don't have to straighten it out. Just do what feels right in your body. And then once you've done a few more, you can extend the leg up, extend the foot up, and point and flex out through the toes and heels. And breathe. Beautiful. We're going to cradle that foot. So I want you to dorsiflex the foot so the toes are curling back towards the front of the ankle. And you can scoop the foot and scoop the knee and sit up nice and tall, pressing out through the left heel. If you're tight, your foot is going to be a little bit closer to your knee than it will be to your hip. So if you're pretty open in your hips, you might bring your foot all the way in towards the belly. And if you wanted to, you could wrap your right arm behind your back and take hold of the inner left arm as you sit. We're just cradling up into a half lotus position to open up that hip a little bit more. And breathe. But if that doesn't work, you're cradling, you're sitting tall. It's all about extension in your spine. It doesn't matter how close your foot comes to your body, to your belly. Keep breathing, keep pressing out through the straight leg and heel of that left foot to activate that whole leg. And we're going to come into, from here, a spinal twist. So for some of you, you're going to step over that leg and be flat on the floor. For others, you might need to stay on the inside of the leg to keep your foot flat on the floor. So not up against the leg. If you're on the inside, leave maybe a palm's distance. Otherwise, you can cross over. And I'll give you another option as well. If you're crossed over and you want to lean into your left hand and fold your left leg back, you can do that. Okay? You don't have to. You can keep that leg out straight. Do what feels better in your body. We're going to lace our fingers around the front of the shin and get that extension in the spine. So when we twist, we want to think about lengthening. We don't want to be leaning back and angling back in a twist. So we want to get really upright so the shoulders stay up and over the hips. So lengthening first, whether your leg is straight or bent, doesn't matter. You can hold the shin with just the left hand or the left inner elbow. And the right arm can wrap, palm open, or it can be right up close to your back on the ground. If it's on the ground, nice and close, and just kind of using those fingers to push the ground away from you so you get more length in your spine. The sternum lifts, and we're sliding that chest across the thigh, looking as far over your right shoulder as you can. And once you've got that nice long spine and long leg, if your leg's extended, start to notice your breath. It's a little bit harder to breathe deeper when you're in a twist. So we want to direct that breath to the back body, start to make some space in between the spinal column and in between the vertebra. So breathing into the back body, couple more breaths, lengthen. Every inhale, you're lengthening. Every exhale, you're twisting. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to twist. Next inhale, come back around to the front, and we're going to uncross the foot if it's crossed. we're going to take it to the inside of the left thigh for Janu Shirshasana A, head of the knee pose. Hands are either side of your knee, getting nice and long and tall. We're going to twist just a little bit to the left to kind of square our torso towards that straight leg. So if your leg was bent before, you can unfold it and bring yourself into Janu Shirshasana A position. And we're going to inhale, reach the arms up, lengthen right up out of the waist. On an exhale, you're reaching forward towards the leg, towards the ankle, foot, or you might even place your palms flat to the ground. You're looking down towards the knee. So the nose is coming towards the knee. The shoulders roll back. The heart is sort of lifted a little bit to keep some length in your spine. And you're breathing. So find your edge with this. You might go all the way to your leg. Don't have to. Not forcing, not straining. Breathing full deep breaths. Engage the straight leg, press out through the heel of that left foot. And then looking up on your inhale, lift your heart, hold the leg or ankle with just the left hand and reach the right hand up. Lift your heart up, lift your gaze up towards that hand and breathe deeply. Full deep breaths. All about the breath. Place the hand back down. Lift the chest, twist a little bit to the left. Inhale, reach out through the arms, back up overhead. Exhale the arms back down by your side. Let that right leg stretch out, shake out the legs, and take a deep breath in and out. Good. We're going to hold behind the left thigh now. So leaning back a little bit, lacing your fingers behind your thigh, lift and lower your foot, and get that nice lubrication going in your knee joint on the left side. If your knee is sensitive, don't go as straight with your leg. Don't do as many reps. Do what feels good. And then point and flex your foot. So we have a choice here for ours. We're going to cradle that leg. We're going to hold the foot, flex the foot, hold it, hold the knee, sit up tall. You can rest the foot right up at the hip crease, sort of tucking that heel to the abdomen, and wrap your left arm behind your back and hold your inner right arm if you're feeling very flexible there. If not so flexible today or in general, just keep your foot a little bit closer to your knee and keep cradling under the left knee. Give it that support. And lift the heart, the sternum, the crown of the head, and breathe. Full deep breaths in and out through your nose. Notice your edge, find your edge and breathe there. You don't have to look like me or anybody else when you're doing your yoga practice. It's all about what feels good for you. So find your edges, breathe there. And then your choice, whether you step over your leg for the spinal twist or you step to the inside of your leg for spinal twist. So either way, if you step over the leg, you might choose to lean into your right hand and curl that right foot back by your hip. Lace your fingers, sit up nice and tall. We want to get the length in the spine before we twist. So get a nice long line from the tailbone to the crown. And then either hold your shin with your right hand or your right inner elbow. You can wrap the other arm behind your back, palm open, or you can put it to the ground really close to your body so you can use it to lengthen you. So not really putting weight into the hand that's behind you, but using it to balance you. And we're going to breathe as we gaze over that shoulder as deeply as we can to the back body. And every inhale, you're lengthening. So inhale to lengthen, exhale to twist. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to twist. Rooting down as you rise up through the crown. Few more breaths here. taking your time with the breath. There's no hurry, no rush. We're going to inhale slowly back to center. And exhale. If your leg is bent, you're going to lean into the right hand and straighten it out. And we're going to uncross that leg if it's crossed and bring it to the inside of your thigh. So for Janu Shirshasana A, there's a little bit of a lengthening and a little bit of a twisting to the right before we descend over that leg. So getting that spine in nice extension, pressing out through the right heel. Hands are either side of your knee, of your leg. We're going to inhale, arms up overhead, and then exhale, reach over and down. So you can grab the leg, the ankle, or the foot. You might even put your palms flat to the ground, either side of your foot or leg, and your nose is towards your knee. Take another breath to lengthen, and exhale, maybe coming a little bit closer to your leg. You don't have to go all the way down, but you might. And you're breathing deeply. Always use your breath as a guide to help you go deeper into the pose, to help you transition out of a pose, and to give you steadiness and comfort within that pose. It's always going to be, breath is always going to be the priority. So breathing deeply, relax your shoulders. Looking up on the inhale, take hold of your leg with your right hand or your ankle or foot, and the left hand lifting up towards the sky. Looking up towards the hand, lift the heart, roll the shoulders back and down as you lengthen. Press out through the right heel, engage that thigh to the ground, and breathe deeply. 2 more nice long deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. Find another drishti. Drishti is where the eyes go. So if looking up at your hand doesn't really work for your neck, you can always find another gazing point that works better. And then we're going to take our hand back down. Inhale, twist a little bit to the right. Reach forward, reach up. Arms come back up by your ears. And then exhale, the arms come down and the leg comes back out. And you're shaking it out. Beautiful. We're going to come around to puppy stretch. So if you prefer a child pose, you can do a child pose. Puppy stretch is you start in a tabletop position, and the hands can reach out towards the corners of the mat. Tailbone is up in the air, and the forehead is resting. If you don't want to rest the forehead to the ground, you can stack your hands or forearms and use them as a pillow. If you're doing child pose, your feet are together and pointed, and your knees can be together or apart wide, depends on how your hips feel, and you're sitting back on your heels. And same options, you can have the arms forward with the forehead down. You can have hands or arms as a pillow, or knees together, hands back by your feet, palms up. We'll take 3 long deep breaths in either child pose or puppy stretch, your choice. And just allow the shoulders and the spine to release and relax. And then 1 more breath. Come back up to tabletop. And we're going to spread out the fingers wide and take the knees a little bit apart, hip distance. Turning the toes under. We're going to take a downward facing dog. Downward dog, you're looking towards your belly. You can walk it out. If you're feeling tight, your knees can either be bent or you can take them wider. A wide-legged dog is a lot easier on the hamstrings as well. Or just kind of walking it out will help to loosen things up as well. And then we'll come back to the knees. Inhale, arch the back, look up. Those cat and dog curls we did earlier, we'll do some on our hands and knees now. So turning the tailbone under, tucking the chin, exhale all the breath. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Same as when we were sitting. Inhale, look up. Exhale, look towards the navel, all the breath out. And 2 more. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round, and exhale all the breath away before you inhale. And come back to neutral spine. And we'll just get a nice flat back. We'll reach the right hand forward as if you were going to shake a hand. And the left toes come back. They can stay on the ground with a straight leg, or you can lift that leg up, pressing out through the heel. This is a balancing cat pose or flying cat pose. So looking for a drishti that will help you to stay stable and steady. Draw in through the belly just a bit for stability, and breathe deeply. If you need to put your toe down, put your toe down. It's okay. We're going to place our hand down, place our knee down, shake out the hips a little bit, side to side. Come back to neutral spine, and reach the left hand forward. Thumb is up, kicking the right toes back. You can keep them on the floor, press the heel away, or you can lift that heel up, level to the hip, and press out through the heel. Breathe deeply. Look forward, look down, wherever it helps you to stay steady. Full deep breaths. And then bring the hand down, bring the knee down, shake out the hips a little bit, come back to your down face dog, turning toes under, lifting hips up nice and high, press out through the heels. You can bend the knees if you need. Spread the fingers wide and grip with the fingertips. Two more breaths, pulling the belly button inward and upward, hollowing out the belly just a bit. And then come way up on your toes, lifting those heels nice and high, dropping the knees back down to the ground. And we're going to turn around, and we're going to lie down on our back. So when you come around, come down onto your back, and very slowly, you can take your forearms to the ground first and just sort of roll your spine down. And we're going to hug those knees in if it feels good to do that. If it doesn't, your arms can go to T position with the feet flat on the ground, and you can rock your knees side to side. If you prefer to pull your knees to your chest and rock side to side, do what feels better for your spine. And just take a nice deep breath in, deep breath out to release your back. We'll place our feet to the ground, and our thumbs are going to tuck underneath the tailbone just a little bit, just under the sacrum a bit for support. We're going to do a hip stand, so we're going to bring the knees in and the feet up. You can press out through the balls of the feet. If you want to, you can come into a half shoulder stand. If you know half shoulder stand pose, you can push down into the arms and hands and bring your whole back up off the ground. Otherwise, we're here in hip stand, making a little bit gentler this morning. So do what feels good in your body. And then when you're ready, bend the knees, place the knees in towards the chest or feet to the ground. Rock out, arms in a T. Let's all take our feet to the ground and rock our knees side to side. Rock our head to the opposite side. And we'll spinal twist. So we're going to come to knees to center. We're going to cross the right leg over the left leg, and we're going to go to the right side. So if this is too much of a twist for your hips, then uncross your legs and just bring your legs to the side without crossing them. If you want a deeper twist, you can cross the bottom leg up and over the top and look in the opposite direction. Your palms can be up or palms can be down. And we're going to take a few deep breaths here. Try to let go of tension in your body, tension in your mind with every exhalation. You can close your eyes here. Just let go. Two more breaths. Inhale, bring your legs to center slowly. Uncross them if they're crossed. Shift your hips back to center. Cross your left leg over your right leg. Shift your hips a little bit to the right and then drop your legs over to the left side. If this is a lot, uncross your legs and just stack your knees. If you want a deeper twist, Keep that lower leg wrapped up over the top leg and look in the opposite direction. So your head will go opposite. Take some nice deep breaths here. Two more breaths. Letting go of last bits of tension in your hips, in your shoulders, in your mind if you can. And then bring your legs slowly back up. Uncross if you're crossed. Shift your hips to center. Give them one more squeeze of the knees to the chest if you like, rocking it out. And then finding Savasana. So Savasana, your feet are about as wide as the mat. Arms by your side, palms facing up. Try to roll the shoulder blades in, tucking the chin just a bit. And you might choose to cover up with something. We're going to take resting pose for several minutes. And if you want to cover up with clothing or socks or a blanket or a sweatshirt, whatever you like, I'm going to come back to sit. And you can take as long of a Shavasana as you like. I'm going to read something and then guide you out of relaxation. But if you'd rather stay longer, then you can just shut the video now. And I will see you again soon, hopefully. So once you're in position for Shavasana, take a deep breath in and sigh it away. Big sigh through the mouth. Cleansing breath. Let go of any last bits of tension in your physical body. Letting go of the jaw, the brow, the belly is soft. Just be as heavy to the ground as you can be. Let gravity take hold of your body. And know that when you take rest after your yoga session, you're absorbing the benefits of that practice on a deeper level, on a cellular level. So just allowing for this time of rest to integrate what we've done. The pose is very gentle practice today. Sometimes that's all you need to release things that are building, tension that is building, or stress in our bodies or in our minds. So letting that breath come back to its natural rhythm, whatever that is for you. You don't have to force anything, you're just letting go, eyes are closed. And taking in these words, any words that are meaningful for you, and just letting the rest go. And this is from Dana Falls. She's our resident Heartsong Yoga poet, yoga poet, who we love. And she says, "This is what I have to say to you. Allow your mind to quiet just a bit. It has been spiraling inward, obsessing on small details of future events, stuck in an endless loop of worry. It chews on its own tail. Take a moment with your eyes closed and try this experiment. Invite the spiral to turn upward. Imagine the mind opening to receive the wisdom of the universe. Innate goodness, the energy to remember that only this moment has potency. What is past or yet to come cannot be directly experienced, but this moment can. Be as intimate with your next breath as you wish to be with truth. Experience every nuance of being alive in this body, at this time, with these thoughts, emotions, fears, and doubts. Be here and nowhere else, and trust that you don't need to worry in order for events to play out as they will. You don't need to stay tense to function well. In fact, exactly the reverse is true. Let go of grasping, and in that momentary relaxation, creativity comes alive, and problems you can never solve with mind come clear through intuition and the vast intelligence of truth."